How are you, Mel?
Oh me, oh my. Oh me, oh my.
Oh,
so I've got an hour of, an hour of non-gloating.
Well,
and just copping it, I would imagine.
No, you haven't.
No,
You know why? You know why?
Why is that?
Because at the end of that really impressive 24 points to 10 victory from New South Wales, we look around and go, well done, everyone, well done. Hang on a minute. Why are they giving the trophy to that guy?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, yeah. The winner of the spoils, but, it was a different Origin game, wasn't it, Jimmy? So obviously, 2-0 down, Accor Stadium, New South Wales had everything to gain and a lot to lose as well in the game. And Queensland, they were a little off, but in saying that, New South Wales, the new kids on the block or the old fellas on the block made a difference, didn't they?
Yeah.
So the combinations, the South Sydney combinations, worked a treat, and they deserved to win. It was just, and Billy Slater got it right after the game. So you get what you deserve, and the Blues deserved their victory.
Mal Meninga involved in the naming of the man of the match, the player of the series. I was reading up in the Brisbane newspapers on yesterday. It was going to be the Kangaroons, all the Maroons in the Kangaroo side. So we'll get your thoughts.
I didn't say that.
No, I know you didn't say that, but they said that. So we'll get your thoughts on all of that. The future of Billy Slater, the future of Brad Fittler, some of the performances from players that you've had there in the Kangaroo squad last year for that World Cup final. It was a really interesting one. But overall, Mal, does it just underscore how difficult it is to win a series 3-0?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. So it's only 7 times it's been done in this history, 42 years. So Queensland 4, New South Wales 3. And even through, I used the example, even through when we had, probably the greatest Queensland team ever, from that 8 years of dominance, and they continued on for another few more years. We only done it once, and that was in 2010. We had 2 opportunities, or 3 opportunities in recent times, 07, 09, 16, and 23 now. So we had 4 opportunities in the last, over 15 years, and you just can't do it. It's a mindset. I'm not quite sure. We try to fix it. I've been a player and a coach under those circumstances, and the only thing I can put it down to is that I think we talked about it before. In the back of your mind, you've won the series, and it doesn't matter as much as it should.
Yeah.
And the dead rubber. I think, like I said in the introduction, the Blues had everything to lose, but plenty to gain, and they were by far the better team, better prepared. Mentally, they were the stronger unit on the night.
Yeah. Can I go back to 1988, 89? You did 6 in a row.
Yeah.
That's so I'm going to ask you a question without notice. That great side that you won 8 series with as a coach versus the 88, 89 best of side. Who wins?
Oh, goodness. Well, I played I played 89. I was going through my series of broken arms in 88, so I didn't play in 88. But, I like to... Can I brag for a little bit? I don't normally brag, but I reckon 89 would have been... No, I'm just joking. I got no idea.
No.
To be honest with you, different eras.
Yep.
Different ways of preparing for the game as opposed to the modern era.
Yes.
So there's some terrific players, obviously Wally and Gino, and Steve Walters is starting to come on the scene. We had the Walters brothers there. Yeah. Alf was, big at that time.
Yep.
It was an exceptional team. Stephen Renouf started to make his mark in the game. So it was Michael Hancock, Gary Belcher. They're all exceptional players of their eras. But you look at Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Greg Inglis, Jonathan Thurston, Cooper Cronk, Darren Lockyer, Matty Scott, Petro. Some of those, we picked that best ever Queensland side recently, didn't we? And a lot of that 06 to the era that I was involved, made the footy team. Yeah,
I tell you
best
what,
ever.
Be a good series. The promoters would love that one. If you want to ask Mal a question about last night, 1300 01 1170. The text line 0457 736 736. All right, New South Wales 24-10. Cody Walker, man of the match. First of all, can you talk us through the system that you and Darren Lockyer and Laurie Daly go through to determine player of the match?
Yeah, player of the match. It's all done independently by those three individuals you mentioned. So at the end of the game, or just before the end of the game, hopefully, we do 3, 2, 1. And then we send those into the auditors,
the
NRL auditors, and they collate the points. And then obviously the top points gets the man of the match. And then last night, all the points that were collated through the whole 3 games gets audited, puts into a file, and then the top 5 points givers, I guess. Then comes back to us, and then we pick 3, 2, 1. Independently, and the 3, 2, 1 gets collated. The 3 of us again, and then that culminates in the Wally Lewis medal.
Yeah, right. I won't ask you who you voted for, but I'll get your assessment on the performance of Cody Walker last night.
Oh, here's the difference. So and everything they did, everything that was good about their attack, and they were highly criticised.
Yes.
For the points they didn't score, basically.
Yep.
And had so many opportunities, game 1 and 2, so much territory, so much possession, but they couldn't convert those opportunities, through errors or ill discipline or. Great Queensland defence. Let's give the Queensland's defence a bit of a rap. But he's just he is the best decision maker in the game, I believe, on an edge. And if given time, and he had plenty of time last night, he has so many options around him, inside, outside, behind. Sweep lines.
Yep.
He just picks. He can pick teams apart if you don't pressure him. So that's what he did last night. They had a really good game plan where. They set up on right and a lot of shift plays, from long right sides, as they say. They had Cook in the middle, connecting, so right to left, and played the way that the Rabbitohs play. They play this expansive game and strip you for numbers. And if you don't put pressure on your key indicators, you find yourself, particularly in that situation, your centre and your winger and all sorts.
Yeah.
Having to make decisions when you've got, 4 players coming at you, and sometimes it's a guessing game. But Cody has got so many options that he generally picks the right one, and that's what makes Cody Walker such a great player. Is that he knows he can play, but he picks the right options. He makes the right decisions at the right time.
He's uncanny in that fashion, isn't he? And look, if you want to extrapolate that out and talk about, Alex Johnson has this incredible try-scoring record. Basically, since 2016, he's played on that left edge outside of Cody Walker. And I'm not saying Alex, no one else can score those tries or what, but gee, it helps.
It does help. It does help. And Bradman Best, he gained from Cody's.
Yes.
And obviously the Fox. So all of a sudden released the Fox. What about his try?
Unbelievable.
That's him. So the Fox hasn't been released in all the series, and he hasn't been allowed to do that. So. And then Teddy comes into his own, doesn't he? What a great game Teddy had in the sweep lines. All of a sudden, because Cody has so many options, he picks the right options, and all of a sudden that allows Teddy to get into space and create the meters that he creates every game. So it would have done a world of confidence for those men around Cody last night to go back to their clubs and start to emulate that for their club at Clubland as well.
Well, you can only imagine what Brad Fittler's thinking there, at a quiet moment over the next 3 months. And he thinks about, by the way, I did not have Latrell Mitchell in my side for the entire series just because of injury, just what could have been. But anyway, we'll never know. Ruben Cotter, Wally Lewis medalist. Thoughts on Ruben's award?
Oh, well, he was outstanding. He's the Mr. Consistency throughout the whole series. Man of the match in game 1, where's the extraordinary, where he started in the middle, and then he found himself on an edge like he normally does, played 80 minutes every game, and just comes up with the right decisions. He's just an extraordinary player, loves the maroon jersey, and he just gives his all every game, whether he's running the footy or he's making defence. He's just he never has a bad game, Ruben, and I think he's thoroughly deserved. Even last night, I thought he was one of the best Queensland, him and Hamaso, so I thought they were our 2 best players last night. He just keeps on performing.
He's got this game that is just built around, you can imagine that Ruben Cotter never falls out of form. You know, some you go, oh, well, they're out of foot. Well, his whole game's based on effort. He'll make his tackles, he'll do his hit-ups, and you can't get that wrong. And he delivers every time.
Yeah, but he turns up too. Like in game one, the amount of times he dove on a loose ball or come up with the right decision defensively where he chased or whatever the case may be. He plays his role wherever you play him, whether front row, he can play 13, so he's got some skill, passing skills, and also he can play on an edge. So he becomes a very valuable player within the Cowboys system, but certainly within the Maroon system. And because he wants to deliver every time, he doesn't want to let his teammate down. He's generally one of your best players every game.
Yeah, I think when he was announced as Wally Lewis medalist, I think there was a nodding amongst everyone and saying, yep, he thoroughly deserved it. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm not going to ask you to name your 17 for the Courier Mail just yet with the 16 Queenslanders in there. But what I will ask you is this, just thinking about it and knowing the impact that Cameron Murray had on that New South Wales performance and knowing that you had Isaiah Yeo at lock forward in the World Cup final and you had Patrick Carrigan and Cam Murray, and now Ruben Cotter is the Wally Lewis medalist. How do you work out who your lock forward for the Kangaroos is going to be if and when we get a game at the end of the year?
Yeah, no, we're getting a game. So just the Monday after the grand final, we'll sit down and make those decisions. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a call and we'll have a bit of a discussion about those 4 players and see what position we put them in. So they're all 4 of them are valuable acquisitions out in your footy team. So I had 3 there last year. Ruben was just on the outer a little bit. We sort of considered him actually to come into the 17 as well. I think, we can fit in a few of those guys. Don't worry. I thought Isaiah, as much, I love him as a 13 and, he's been one of our better players in our competition for many years now. And he's such a great leader and great person. Same with Cam Murray. I'm not denying that at all. I thought he handled off the bench really well. And that's the type of player, Isaiah is, So he's an effort-based player again, but he's skillful, just makes his tackles. I can't remember the last time Isaiah missed a tackle, Jimmy.
Is that,
to be honest with you? I mean, you go through his season stats.
Yep.
I would hazard a guess it'd be 0 point something, Yep. The amount of tackles he misses. And probably the same with Cam. Cam is probably around the same, So they're the type of players you want in your footy team, So, as you know, defence wins your footy games, and he's an exceptional player. Then you got Patrick Carrigan, who, goodness gracious, what a great player he is.
Yeah.
He was a Wally Lewis medalist last year.
Yeah.
And the Broncos missed him enormously at the back end of last year as well. So he comes back in the Bronx at the back end of the year, and the Bronx are going to be fine just having him in the side. Him and Payne Haas make a great combo.
Yeah, welcome back to the run home with Joel and Fletcher. Souffle, fluff it up, Bryan.
Fluff it up. Just keep going because I'm going to get these bingo calls.
Okay, you do that, mate. You do
this
that.
bloke says dinner for 2. I can't read that out. That's Joel. Yeah, Joel.
Now, our next guest, all thanks to Chemist Warehouse. You can rush into Chemist Warehouse to get half price off the Synovus vitamin range. Excludes bulk sizes. This bloke's a bulk man called Matty Johns, and he's on the line. G'day, Matthew.
Bulk man.
Yeah.
What's doing, boys? How's going?
Where are you, Bulky?
Mate, I am at mate. I'm at Coolangatta Airport, Fletch.
Ooh.
I've been up at the Gold Coast for a few days, brother.
Oh.
I've had my head in the lion's mouth, mate. Up in Queensland for third Origin.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give you a quick quiz on bingo numbers. If I said to you, rugby team, what number's that?
15.
Yep. What is this one? Clickety click.
66.
Perfect. Yeah. What is this one? Bang on the drum.
Number 1.
71. Bang on the drum.
71.
Yeah, I like this one.
Okay.
This is yeah. What are this one? Was she worth it?
Really?
5'6". 5'6", 56. Was she worth it? I don't know. This is what they're doing.
What is going on?
Who knows?
What about when you did this to Fatty? And Fatty said, and we plugged in, he's just come to
Well, I did this to him as well.
No, you did something similar. And he couldn't believe it. Matty, what were your observations last night? Save us.
Oh, boys. Well, mate, Cody Walker. I think we spoke about this a few times. You know, I thought he was a must in game one. You know, best left side playmaker in the competition. And mate, it was just his pass selection. And thinking about Cody, mate, he just, you know, those little pass options, he makes them look easy, even though they're not. And mate, you know, he's a natural footballer, so he suits Origin because he can operate at speed. So yeah, I thought it was good, boys. You know, and the Cam Murray, starting him with 13, I think one of the things that I've been critical of New South Wales about in the first two games is too much pass first, run second, where he straightened them right up. And I thought Isaiah Yeo coming on the field and playmaking at the back end of the game was worked really, really well. You know, it could have been the temptation to shut down and try to defend our way to victory, but when he came on, a bit of playmaking, and mate, it was just a far better balanced team.
Hey, Matty, I thought when I was watching the game, so Cody's had a couple of cracks in the New South Wales jumper, and on each time it looked as though it was, okay, Cody, you come in to plug into what we're doing, but it looked as though this time they went, you know what, you are the number one try assist merchant in the comp by postcodes. We're going to fit into you. And they kept presenting that South Sydney shape for Cody Walker, and it just worked.
It did work well. You know, they were sort of working to the far, just past the far post, coming back with these two pass options. Yeah, look, mate, looked really good. You could see they built their attack around him. Mitchell Moses was good. It's going to be interesting. I mean, if that was game 2, and then you go into game 3, if Nathan was available, you know, what do you do as far as Moses and Cleary? I mean, but yeah, I mean, Freddy do it okay. He's good at selections.
What did you make of Ivan Cleary in the box, Matty?
Mate, what about that? Well, mate, I thought it was a pretty smart move because I think what they've been caught out in the first 2 games is, I think you use the term coach fit, is that, you know, if you're only part-time coaching, you know, in the cut and thrust, Fletch, of interchange, you know, at the drop of a hat, have to make key decisions. I think it's worked against us a little bit, but having Ivan in there, I'd say that he had a cool head. He's been through it a million times. I think it was obvious that he assisted him. Although Gutho didn't get on towards the end, but that's a byproduct of picking a bloke who, you know, it's an emergency selection. If worse comes to worse and a key bloke goes down, then you throw Gutho on. But you know that's what happens when you pick someone who's that sort of replacement.
That was always going to happen. Like, we don't have that replacement in game 1 and 2. Yeah. We absolutely needed it. And then in game 3, you pick it. You just knew that we weren't going to need him.
Well, Freddie came out and just said, I haven't got a plan for him.
No.
So he just said, if I need him, I need him. And if Fox doesn't go, Fox doesn't get injured, he probably doesn't get on, Gutho.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And, that's right. We've gone through a few. Made some, I know young Stefano must have been a rugged 10 minutes that he had out there game 2 that he had to be rested for game 3.
Yeah, that was odd.
That was weird.
Well, game 4 maybe. He's come for game 4.
Well, he's going to be well rested. He's been rested for first game next year, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Now, Matty, your name again pops up. You and Joey. I know you're going to smoke the peace pipe soon, according to Buzz. The peace pipe will come out. The coaching, are we putting it to bed?
Yeah, put it to bed. Right. Put it to
so
bed.
I don't have to, because I had it blocked out. I had 3 days next year blocked out, 3 Wednesdays, because I was coming in as assistant, as you know.
Yeah.
But if
Fletcher.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be Johns and Johns. What about Johns and Fletcher?
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
That could be a good team. I mean, I know we get our substitutions right. We're sort of level-headed when we get together.
Yeah, we're right. We'd be.
Hey, Matty, I'll tell you what. There was some great debuts this week. There was Kaloa Matangi, there was Bradman Best, there was Corey Horsburgh. But let me tell you this, young man, there was no better debut than Carl Jones. Oh, yeah, Carl Jones on your show. How good was that?
Oh, mate, how good was he? Mate, I'm looking forward, mate. When we do the show in Vegas at the start of next year, and by the way, Fletcher got a venue.
Oh, yes.
Got a venue sorted.
What?
Yes, had caught up with the great Billy Cross last night.
I do tell.
And he said, mate, you blokes really going to take the game to Vegas because, mate, he's got a residency. He's got that thunder from down under.
Yep.
There. And he said, mate, I've got the location. He said, I've already checked it out. I've got the location. So we've got that sorted, mate. We'll fly Carl over.
Yes.
Mate, that was our producers. That was one of their very, very best. It was brilliant.
But the thing that I found astonishingly great was it's fair enough finding the bloke who looks like Hindy, but then for him not only one to go along with it, to get to take the mickey out himself, but he was perfect. Like,
Mate,
I love when he's playing the pokies and he goes, "Get in,
mate." How good was he, mate? But you know what? It's typical, isn't it? Like he's a Welshman, but up around the north of England, around Liverpool, they just got that great comedic timing. Mate, he was so, every now and then, Fletcher, he just turned at a different angle, and you just get that glimpse of him and Hindy again. Unbelievable.
I just love thinking about, and for the listener who don't know the story, you've got to go check it out on the Matty John Show, where for 4 years, a viewer had sent through to you, Bryan, or one of the team, a lookalike.
Yes.
And for 4 years, this bloke's just wandering around doing his daily job with no idea that he's been compared on this show for 4 years.
Yeah, and we reached out. He didn't exist on. We rang the station, the trains, Welsh trains, and the phone just kept ringing out. No, there's no Carl Jones, because that's where he worked.
Yes.
Instagram, Facebook, and then one day he just responded, and then off he went.
You know what got me the best? With Hindy having no luck.
We haven't had a great record with Welshmen on the show. Do you remember the time, Fletcher, we had the bloke who was the world champion of the Coopy Uppy with the soccer ball, the big sweaty guy?
Yeah. He was off
big mess.
Yeah.
he was Alan Moffat. He was. I don't know how I'm sounding, boys. I tell you what, mate, I tweaked my back yesterday. Oh, mate, I've been in all sorts today. And, mate, I've had to take some sort of pain-killing medication, and I'm seriously just all over the place.
Right, what's happened? What were you doing? Were you doing an activity?
Mate, I just tweaked. I got there and I just bent over to do something, and it just bushka, and it felt all right. But mate, woke up this morning, and it might have been the 30 beers I had watching Origin last night. If I sound a little vague talking about it, there's a reason. But yeah. So, mate, I'm all over the place. Luckily, no show tonight, mate. Otherwise, it'd be in doubt. That's how big a situation.
Oh, wow. Now, and in breaking news, tell us about the organised lunch. You and Joey coming back together. Is it fair?
Mate, drive through McDonald's. Well, mate, he's funny. He rang me out of the blue, and I went, it was a missed call. And I thought, here we go. He's gonna stump up again. Gonna ring me this time rather than tell people he's gonna punch the head off my shoulders. He's gonna tell me. So anyway, he's just gone, mate, what are you doing? And I was like, well, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm in Narrabeen having a surf. Do you want to go and have some lunch? And I said, no, I don't. He went, oh right. I said, no, I'm on the Gold Coast. He said, righto. He said, we'll catch up when you get back. And I said, okay.
That's good.
So we'll see. Oh, mate, Buzz was. Because then when he went on Ben Fordham this morning, and I think Ben Fordham asked him, "Are we going to coach?" He said, "No, but we're going to catch up, mate." Buzz was just frothing. Buzz rang me.
I tell you what, I'm really enjoing Buzz and Gus going at each other.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, how good is that?
Just a fibbathon from all angles.
What about Gus going Shamus? What about that?
Oh no, I
didn't see that.
No.
Oh, mate, live on the show.
Oh,
Michael Shamus was asking Gus about the stuff, and he goes, "Oh, mate, there's people just trying to destabilise." And said to Michael Shamus, "You're one of them. You've tried to destabilise me on numerous occasions." And Michael Shamus goes, "Mate, I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Mate," he goes, "You know." He goes, "No, I don't. Can you list them?" And he goes, "Mate, I'm not even going to bother. You're not worth it."
Oh, what? Are they on are they on the same show together, or was it like a Zoom?
100% footy it would have been.
No, they're on the show together, same show.
I only watch 110% footy. That's
yeah, 120.
That's a good one.
Or NRL 720.
Oh, I like that. Gordy's. I tell you what, Gordy's 50 in a couple of weeks, Matty.
I know we've got the big party going. Yeah, mate, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, what are we going to get up to?
Well, that's interesting, mate. What? I'll ask you. What are we going to get up to?
I don't know. 62, tickety boo. What about that one, Matty?
I like that. Remember the time when my wife, Joel, bought tickets to Top Gun Maverick, and anyway, I said, "I'm catching up with Fletch." She goes, "I just turn up drunk." Anyway, I was so full Mate, I can't even remember watching the movie. I just blacked out.
Yeah, but then you got quite emotional because Vivid was on, didn't you?
It was too.
Yeah, Vivid really, I don't know, brought back some childhood memories. You told me because you rang me and said it was like Fletcher. It was like looking through a kaleidoscope. I love it.
It was. So, mate, that's back on again. We're on again.
Righto.
Well, just before you go, if I said to you, Matty, Gandhi's breakfast, what would that be?
Gandhi's breakfast.
Mm. It's 80.
Don't know, Fletch.
80.
Hey?
80.
80 Gandhi's breakfast.
Gandhi's,
yeah.
68,
Yeah, right.
Saving Grace.
Like it.
Yeah, I like it. That's all I've got
another?
for you. 55 Snakes Alive.
Brian, the incredible Bolt's got to get on a plane, so let's let him go.
Good on you,
Well,
Matty. Get into the box.
we got the show tomorrow, but Webby's in doubt. Webby's crook. He's in doubt tomorrow, so I think we're putting Missile on standby.
Oh,
Mate, I love the
good.
Missile. How loose is he?
Yeah, Matty.
He'll bring his own kaleidoscope, won't he?
Matty, you only got to just – you don't want to talk about it? He goes, no, I don't want to talk about it. You just got to give him a quick prod. And he leaks like a sieve.
Brian, he's just got to tell if he comes on the show tomorrow, Matthew, he has to tell the story of the what, Brian?
The bronze pulling.
The bronze puller.
Or Matty asking about when he went down to Tijuana as an 18-year-old. Oh, mate.
There's your 3 hours there. Yep. Good on you, mate.
So what about those swimmers, mate? Those swimmers, they make us rugby league players just look like lawn bowlers.
No. Are you in business class? Because if you're not in business class and you don't reach around and grab someone on the nipple, Grant Hackett style, you haven't had a crack.
That's right.
Mate, I'll be having a crack. Don't worry about that.
Good on you, Matty. Head into Chemist Warehouse for great savings every day.